Overnight, Ukraine has faced what its President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is calling Russia's largest drone attack to date. A record 728 drones launched in just one night, along with 13 missiles. Ukraine's Air Force says it managed to shoot down 718 of those drones and 7 missiles, but the scale of the attack is raising alarms in Kyiv and further beyond. President Zelenskyy has responded by doubling down on his appeal for what he calls biting sanctions against Moscow, urging Ukraine's Western allies to not only maintain pressure, but to go further, particularly by targeting Russian oil sales with secondary sanctions. His argument is simple: hit Russia's revenue streams harder and make it more costly for the Kremlin to keep waging war. Meanwhile, in Washington, President Donald Trump has been voicing his own frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump, who once vowed to end the war within a day if elected, has admitted that so far his administration's efforts to broker peace have fallen short.
That was a war that should have never happened, and a lot of people are dying, and it should end. And I don't know, we get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin, for you want to know the truth. He's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless.
This week, Trump took a noticeably tougher line on Moscow, telling his cabinet he's not happy with Putin and accusing the Russian leader of being friendly in words but insincere in actions, while the death toll keeps climbing on both sides of the front line. In practical terms, the White House is taking some steps. Trump confirmed on Tuesday that he's approved sending more defensive weapons to Ukraine, focusing mainly on air defense systems, which are vital for fending off Russia's relentless aerial barrages. And he said he's strongly considering whether to back a bipartisan bill in the Senate that could dramatically raise the cost for any country doing business with Russia. This proposed legislation, sponsored by Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Democrat Senator Richard Blumenthal, would impose steep new sanctions and slap 500% tariffs on nations that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, uranium and other exports. If passed, it would significantly raise the stakes for countries still trading with Moscow and potentially tighten the economic vise around Putin's government. For Ukraine, the stakes couldn't be greater. Zelenskyy says that ensuring the steady flow of weapons and ammunition is vital to saving lives and protecting Ukrainian towns and villages. He's ordered his team to expand contacts with the US to guarantee these critical supplies arrive quickly, especially air defense systems. But there are still concerns about potential delays. Last week, the Pentagon put a temporary hold on some weapons shipments to Ukraine, raising red flags in Kyiv that any pause could weaken its ability to resist Russian attacks, just as Moscow ramps up its airstrikes and battlefield push. When asked who had ordered that pause, Trump himself didn't give a clear answer, instead putting the question back to his own defence team, highlighting what seems to be some internal confusion about policy coordination. For now, both Kyiv and Washington appear focused on shoring up Ukraine's defences and tightening the economic pressure on Russia. But with this war now dragging on for more than 40 months, neither the drone attacks nor the political debate over sanctions show any sign of letting up. And the next few weeks could be critical in shaping how this grinding conflict evolves. For all of the latest on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and for the latest from the international sphere, make sure you're following us here on NewsX World.